Good evening, good evening. Good evening, Salt Church. Welcome to this evening. Slightly different this evening. We are going to be watching a video, an important video, and I'm hoping it's going to come across well. We are in a building with fewer people, and it does echo. So if you're finding it hard to hear, probably sitting towards the side where you can see the side speakers might be a better place if you're troubling to hear. So don't worry, if you need to move, then move. We'll see how it goes. But the video will be a link which you'll be able to catch up with, and you will be able to watch it in the comfort of your home a second time, because it will be a link on YouTube. So welcome to this evening. I'm going to be quite quick because the video is 45 minutes long. We're going to finish probably about 7:10 or so, a little bit longer than normal, but it's an important subject. It's sexuality. It's on sexuality, definitions, what is a man or a woman? You know, the BBC claimed to be 100 sexual identities. Every TV show or movie promotes it, and it's very, very complicated. Is there a way for us being Christians through the minefield? It's not a matter of love the sinner and hate the sin. That phrase is actually very inflammatory to people who are not Christians and who live an alternative lifestyle. But does biblical doctrine matter? Yes, it does. The Church of England, as you probably know, is in trouble. It has denied same-sex marriage in church, claiming not to have changed the definition of marriage from one man to one woman for life. But on the other hand, it has approved the blessing of same-sex marriages before God in church. And that, to me, does seem to change the definition of marriage. So what's happened is 80% of the worldwide Anglican communion of churches have now stated that the Church of England has left the Anglican communion by default. The worldwide Anglican communion no longer recognize the Archbishop of Canterbury as being its head, and they are now looking for a new leader. Bible-believing evangelical and charismatic churches within the Church of England are even now withholding their parish share, as they do not want to support churches blessing same-sex marriages. In fact, will there be a Church of England in 5 years' time? The issue of sexuality and sexual identity has collided with the church, and there is fallout. On the other hand, it does seem that the world is kicking back a little bit on lots of issues that are in the forefront on our TV screens. You might have picked up that Bud Light has been caught in this, like the Church of England, in these issues. They were thinking it was trendy to support and to grow sales, so they linked with a well-known transgender influencer, Dylan Mulvaney. But maybe there's been a shift in the tide, because what has happened, their sales and their market share has plummeted on an unheard of level for such a major brand. It does make me wonder whether public opinion is indeed changing, and that lots of businesses and churches and religions are colliding with these issues on sexuality. Now, Helena and I, and in Lynn, we represented Salt Church at the Ground Level Leaders Conference. It was an amazing time, and we made many connections. So tonight, I want to show an interview between Amy Orr Ewing, who is a Christian apologist. Now, an apologist is a person who speaks with great knowledge in defense of the Christian faith. And she will be interviewing David Bennett, who is originally from Sydney in Australia. David is an Oxford doctoral student, he's a scholar, and he is a theologian. David is also the author of the book, A War of Loves, where he tells his own story of being a gay activist as a non-Christian, and all of his wrestlings to come to faith in Jesus Christ, which he is now a Christian, and he got saved in a dramatic way. David is a single, celibate man, and he gives the church a beautiful way through modern sexual ethics. He is a born-again follower of Jesus. He is totally Word and Spirit focused. But he has come from a different world into the Christian faith, and he can speak with great knowledge. This interview did have a profound effect on us and all the people who were watching it at the conference. And in a way, the work that he's doing in his doctorate, I think, will be a very important and loving way to help Christians through a lot of these issues in a non-judgmental way, without denying our faith and without tearing down other people. He has found a special way through the issues. Indeed, it gives him the right to speak into this very difficult area. A number of Salt Church people have actually asked me to give a Bible study on such issues to help, because I suspect every family in some way or another with children or grandchildren or great-grandchildren may well be affected by such issues. You might remember I did a Bible study on the biblical view of marriage in defense against changing the definition of marriage from one man to one woman for life. But David has a unique insight into this whole area, and he's an expert in it from his own experience and also from God completely changing him from the inside out and actually giving him some doctrinal and ways through it. So David speaks with an authority that I cannot, and also he speaks with a love and a humility that gave us at the conference such a powerful message and teaching. I do believe that he will be an important theologian. His books, when they are fully out, his doctorate when it's finished, I think will have a big impact on the Christian church and how evangelical churches actually deal with this subject. So I hope you get to hear it, or most of it. If not, move to the side near a speaker if it's a bit echoey. But if not, it will be on a link. You'll be able to watch it and hear it properly on your own TV screens at home on another occasion. Lights, can we turn the lights off? Lights, camera, Wendy, action.